outreach here at FUMC. It's good to see all of you here today on this beautiful summer day. Lots of stuff going on here at First United Methodist. First of all, in your bulletin there are tons of announcements, and please be sure and read through. There's changes in scheduling coming and all kinds of activities, and hopefully there's going to be at least one thing that you can find in the bulletin that will bring you back to church sometime during the week. There are also yellow sheets in the bulletin. Those are our way of connecting with you, so please fill those out as you would like and put it in the offering plate when that comes up. If you've been through Friendship Center this morning on your way into worship, you notice we had kind of an HGTV makeover on Friday afternoon, and so we've changed the setup out there. I'd love to hear your feedback. Let me know, positive or negative, whether you like it or you don't like it. But we do have lots of sign-ups happening. First of all, we have our summer Bible study that Pastor Julie is going to be leading in the summer for 7 weeks, Making Sense of the Bible by Adam Hamilton. You can stop by the table and put your name on the list there. We're having a picnic potluck on July 7th after worship. We're going to go over to Westside Park and share some fellowship and food and welcome Pastor Julia to our church family. But we do need people to bring food and workers to help us set up and clean up. And then we're doing a special welcoming activity for Julia. There's a table out in Friendship Center where you can stop by. We'll provide you with the cards, but if you write just a short note welcoming Julia to our congregation, we'll be sure all of those cards are in the parsonage when she moves in. So, and today we have a special treat for us. Today we welcome Reverend Jeff Raschke to the pulpit. Jeff is the Associate Director of Stewardship at Chaddock in Quincy, Illinois. And Reverend Raschke has been with Chaddock for 12 years. So let's welcome him to First United. All right, let's do some worship.
Please stand as you are able and join me in the call to worship. We gather in the name of the Creator who creates time and space, galaxies, stars, and planets.
We gather in the name of Jesus Christ, who was born in the flesh on earth.
We gather in the name of the Spirit who fills the earth with the presence of love.
Creator God, this time and all now.
And in the space we call here,
let us worship and feel your presence.
Please remain standing as we sing hymn number 144, This is My Father's World. our Creator, we need your touch. We need the Father's touch of healing, pain released, brokenness remade, and our marred images restored. We need the Son's touch of love, frozenness melted, loneliness massaged, and tears turned to laughter. We need the Spirit's touch of liberation, freedom from the past, power for the present, and courage for the future. God, our Creator, touch us that we may be transformed into your likeness.
As we sing hymn number 2086, I invite the children to come forward for a moment with Pastor Jeff.
up. He goes this way. All right. Well, hello, how are you today? You know what? When I was little, my mom and dad used to sing in the choir, and we were at a big church over in Decatur, Illinois. That's where we grew up. And that church had a balcony like this church does. And I was the oldest one, and I had a sister and a brother. Are you two brother and sister? Are you okay? Well, so I was the oldest one, kind of like you, see. And my parents wanted to sing in the choir, and they decided that we had gotten old enough that we should be able to sit in church by ourselves. Think that was a good idea? Really well? They thought so too, but guess what happened? They sat over, the choir loft was over there in our church, so they sat over there, and we decided to sit in the balcony that day, right in the very front row, way up there, when we were by ourselves. And we did okay all through church until we got to the sermon. And the sermon seemed long and boring to us. And so you know what happened? We decided to entertain ourselves. So we had the bulletin in our hands, and we started tearing off little pieces of paper, made little paper wads. And back in those days, women all wore hats to church, these big hats. So the women that were sitting below us, we looked over the railing to see if we could make baskets in their hats with a little piece of paper. And my parents were hopelessly watching from over in the choir loft while we were doing that. And other people in the church noticed those ration kids. That was us out there doing that. And I don't think they were all very happy. And that's how the minister's wife from then on started sitting with the ration kids in the balcony. And so that's what we did. And you know what? I don't know. My parents had to practice patience because in the Bible, the story, Bible reading you're going to hear today, there's 5 words in it that you can remember these words. In fact, let's let everybody else remember them with us. They're very important words, and you can practice them right now. Ready? Hold up, hold your hand. So there's just one word for each finger. Ready? Okay, love is patient and kind. Love is patient and kind. You want to say those with me? Ready? Okay, let's do it. Ready? Love is patient and kind. So I think that my parents had to be very, very patient that day to not come and get us and make us in big trouble. And I think the minister's wife was very kind to come sit with us from then on. And being patient and kind is a way to show love in the Bible that we can always practice. It doesn't matter if you're a child or if you're an older adult or somewhere in between. You can always practice being patient and kind. Have you done that before? We're trying to be patient with other people. It's a big word, but with your brother, yeah. And probably he'll be patient with you sometimes too. You'll teach him how to be patient. And as you get older, you get more and more patient. Because love can grow in our life. It's true for everybody. Love can grow. And when it grows, it shows itself when we get to be more and more patient with other people. And when we can learn to become more kind. And that probably doesn't include dropping paper wads in their hats, right? So we learned to stop doing that in church. And so we didn't do that anymore. But we learned at church how to respect and be kind to other people. And that's a lesson we can always remember. So let's always pray. Just one more time. Remember this. Love is patient and kind. Lord, thank you for these children, for all of us, that we can practice these simple words. And when we do that, that it actually changes the way we relate to other people, and even changes the world we live in, when we can show forth your love as patience and kindness. In Jesus' name.
Amen.
Please join me in the prayer for illumination. God of ages, lift us up this day to face your brilliance and your truth. As we hear your word read and proclaimed, give us the courage and hope to live as your people, a people of light and love. Amen. Well, the children's moment was a good introduction to today's scripture. It's one that I'm sure most of us are familiar with. It's from 1 Corinthians 13, New Revised Standard Version. The gift of love. If I speak in the tongues of mortals and of angels, but do not have love, I am a noisy gong or a clanging cymbal. And if I have prophetic powers and understand all mysteries and all knowledge, and if I have all faith so as to remove mountains, but do not have love, I am nothing. If I give away all my possessions, and if I hand over my body so that I may boast, but do not have love, I gain nothing. Love is patient. Love is kind. Love is not envious or boastful or arrogant or rude. It does not insist on its own way. It is not irritable or resentful. It does not rejoice in wrongdoing, but rejoices in the truth. It bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Love never ends. But as for prophecies, they will come to an end. As for tongues, they will cease. As for knowledge, it will come to an end. For we know only in part, and we prophesy only in part. But when the complete comes, the partial will come to an end. When I was a child, I spoke like a child. I thought like a child. I reasoned like a child. When I became an adult, I put an end to childish ways. For now we see in a mirror dimly, but then we will see face to face. Now I know only in part, then I will know fully, even as I have been fully known. And now, faith, hope, and love abide. These three, and the greatest of these is love. This is the written word of God for all of God's people. Amen.
It is a pleasure to be back here with you again. The last time I was supposed to come, I happened to be on the wrong side of the state when a whole lot of snow fell in between us. And at the last minute, Steve Bergner filled in, and I was very grateful for that. So we decided to plan the next time for during the summer months. So it's in the live and learn category, I guess. But I'm glad to be with you. This scripture, there's lots of good reasons to love this scripture, the famous love chapter in the Bible. Matter of fact, it's actually engraved in my wedding ring, or it used to be. I don't know if it's worn off yet. I know gold is a pretty soft metal, and I've had this on for 38 years. And I put it on when we got married, and then I drank a lot of milkshakes. And I can't get it off. And so I don't know if it's still written in there or not. It's in hers too. But you know, I've thought a few times that even if the inscription wore off, there's worse things to have rub off on your life than words like love is patient and kind, right? I hope it's rubbed off on your life too, whether it's on a ring you wear or not. I'm going to invite you to reflect with me today about the image we see in the mirror of ourselves, this dim image, and to recognize, I just love that analogy, I think, that Paul paints with this picture of this dim image in a mirror, and suggesting that, in fact, we can only see partially or get the general idea, but that someday we'll see face to face. That this love can only be lived out in a partial sense, in the way we exist and live life, but that someday God will be able to bring it to fruition. And in fact, in the meantime, it's not a static gift. It's something that can grow and change in our life. We can change. Dr. Lloyd was the minister preaching when we dropped the paper wads over the balcony. And I don't think he looked up there, and I'll admit I was a ringleader, I was the oldest brother. I don't think he looked up there and said, that guy is going to be a preacher. He probably thought I was a troublemaker. And he was right that day. Chaddock has kids. Chaddock, in Quincy, Illinois, where I worked the last 12 years as a minister. We deal with children who've gone through extraordinary difficulties in their early life. In the first 5 years of their life, the vast majority of the 50 kids that live on campus in our residential treatment program have been severely abused and neglected. They represent some of the worst cases of child abuse and neglect in our whole country, and we specialize in extreme examples of child abuse and neglect. So I'm not at all going to go into detail about what happened to the kids. I just want to say that we get kids from, so far, 34 states across the United States have sent kids to us, and by and large, they're kids that many times their educators thought there was no chance they would ever be able to meaningfully complete school. In fact, about 80% of those kids spent at least part of the year before they came to Chaddock in blocked psychiatric units. They might have only been 8 or 10 or 12 years old. They're already deep in therapy. The average number of psychotropic medicines that the kids have at Chaddock is 3. As we have a full-time nurse who has to administer about 150 prescriptions for our 50 kids that live on campus, antidepressants and so on. They might only be 8 years old, 10 years old. They were born as normal as you and me, but they went through some really horrific things. And so I just want to flash forward now a little bit to the fact that this, about 2 weeks ago, we had a very special event on our campus. It happens every year. I would make you hazard a guess, but I'll just tell you, graduation. We had 9 kids graduate from high school, and every one of them is nothing short of a miracle. Every one of them is a young person that someone said about, this child will never be able to complete school. But they did. And they were able to change and become different people, basking in the love of the church for them. And it's incredible what love put together with an incredible group of skilled professionals can do, working around the clock with kids who so far haven't been making it in more traditional types of treatment. And so it was a very exciting day. And there were people, therefore, that came from all over the United States to Chaddock's graduation ceremony on a Thursday afternoon. And one of them, I was standing next to in line, in the receiving line. We were standing quite a while because I'll tell you, there's an awful lot of tears and hugs and just incredible outpouring of emotion that occurs at Chaddock's graduation. Any graduation, people are proud, but I'll tell you, when one of these kids, but anyway, there's a lot of, it takes some time to adequately congratulate them all. And so we were in line a long time. I was standing by someone I'd never met. He was a big man, younger than me, and we got to talking, and I asked him what he did, and he said that he worked as a corrections officer at the youth home for kids that are in trouble with the law. And, oh, interesting. And I said, well, tell me more about that. And he went into his life story a little bit. he was raised in a neighborhood where he said most of his friends did not have a father figure in their life. Most of them were either incarcerated or on drugs or had left home. And he said that his own father he never met till he was 18 years old. And then his mother insisted that he just go introduce himself to his father. So he lived in the same city, but just had never met him. And he said that the experience of what he went through, he had a mother who was incredibly strong, who was like a father and a mother to raise these kids. And he said that the experience he had growing up and seeing what he saw in all of his friends, he said made him decide that if there was any way he could be like a dad to other kids who were struggling, that that's what he wanted to do with his life. If you ever wanted to say amen to something, that wouldn't be a bad spot. He's not here to hear it, but I felt like saying amen, when he said that. And he was a very passionate person about his job. He said that why he likes working in the detention center is he said he gets kids, and he loves to work, but the younger they are, they're better. He said he loves to work with them at a time when they've made a mistake and they need somebody who can show them the right way and help them forward in their life. And he's not somebody that went there for the paycheck. It's his passion, it's his mission, absolutely, completely. And while we were standing in line, one of the 9 graduates broke ranks and ran all the way across the room through that crowd and gave this guy a big old bear hug. And without knowing all the details, that he must have made a huge impact in this young person's life for him to come all that way as soon as he saw him at his graduation. Have you ever wanted to be somebody like that? And maybe you already are in a number of ways. Whenever I look in the mirror, I want to hope that this idea that I wear on my wedding band is somehow rubbed off in ways not just in my own home, but maybe for other people too. Love is patient and kind. Does it describe you? You don't have to raise your hand and answer. I'm just asking a question. I don't know what road would be the right road in Champaign, but in Quincy, it's Broadway Street. You go down Broadway Street, and that's where all the people who wake up in the morning deciding to test your patience, that's the road they drive on. And they're always in front of me. It's the weirdest thing. And I've got a friend there, Chad, who he likes to vent and storm. He gets so upset at the drivers. So whenever he drives, when we go out to lunch or something, whenever he drives, I'm always trying to calm him down a little bit because he's getting so upset. This person, turn. I'm like, it's okay, we could wait another light or something. But he's just, it's not the right time, of course, to mention this to him, but I'd like to encourage him to look in the rearview mirror sometimes instead of just through the windshield. Because if you look in the rearview mirror, you'll see people that are feeling frustrated with you. They're behind you because they wish they were going a little faster than you're going. Have you ever looked in your rearview mirror with that in mind? I mean, the world doesn't only exist of people slowing you down, but sometimes it's people cutting you slack too. And if you think of that in your life a little bit, then maybe it's an encouragement to be patient with other people. I wonder how many people have sat behind me when I didn't turn fast enough and they had to sit through another red light. And they stormed and seethed back there in their car. Luckily, I keep my windows rolled up so I don't hear all that. But it still happens. And if they never get upset with me, well, did I mention I've been married 38 years? It's a good thing my wife's not preaching today. She would have stories to tell. and ask God to teach us to be at least as patient with other people. The thing I like about this love chapter is Paul didn't say love is like Hollywood.